I've had a rough year. I've had a rough year for the past few years. And something that allows me to keep going is being able to have the faith that one day, eventually, a lot of the things that I'm going through now will be solved, they will be over, and I'll be able to experience more happiness. But the thing to keep in mind is even if I'm not dealing with these problems right now, if I do live to see like a really big age, like I'll be going through different things. And so that's why it's so important to me to be able to navigate through life struggles. And they'll always be here. Problems will always be here just because you get to be in a better space or you get to accomplish many things. Problems will still be around as long as we're living. So I want to share with you right now 3 ways that you can navigate a tough year. So, just in case it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or your year, you can still move through and be happy.
You're listening to the Warrior Rulebook podcast with me, Monique Harmon. I love helping people express themselves, protect their peace, and be confident in being them. You may also know me as Pretty Nikki, who started her online journey as a modest fashion blogger. Now I'm an entrepreneur. You'll see through my experiences and the experiences of others that change is possible, improvement is tasty, and meaningful connection is transformational. Come on, share your story with me.
I've been talking to a couple of my friends, and sometimes they're a little put off or disturbed on how I'll laugh at my issues or I'll laugh at my problems. And I tell them I have to do that to keep from crying. It's not me being overly negative, it's literally me trying to make light of whatever it is that I'm going through so that way I can just focus on what can I try or what can I do to succeed. And that's the perspective that I look at a lot of things. I have to laugh to keep from crying. So if you ever see me laughing, a lot of the times, I say 99% of the time, stuff is funny. And then maybe 1% of the time, I'm just trying to keep going. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I feel as though when people are planning for their next year, they whip out the calendars. They're like, oh, I'm going to be more fit this year, or I'm going to have this particular goal that I'm going to do. And people are so worried about planning about that. But are you planning for when negative things come up? People don't really want to talk about it. Like there's a few things in my life that are negative that I just don't want to look at. I don't want to think about them, but I know that certain things are going to come up. And so it's important to me to prevent as many things as possible. And when you prevent things, you are more confident because you actually have a plan on how to react to it. You're not just reacting just because it's a bad thing, but you actually have a plan on how you can deal with it or you can minimize it. So, my first way that I like to navigate a tough year is to have a plan B. I'm very good at adapting to new situations, and that's something that my dad taught me is being able to adapt to what is happening around you. You can't change things. Sometimes you have to accept being told no, and you just have to go with it. You have to be like, okay, what else can I do? I may can't change the main thing that's happening right now, but how do I feel about it? And what are the steps or avenues I can go through to solve this issue? And it helps you to become a better problem solver as well. And so this is actually one of my favorite ways to navigate a tough year. And I try to just be in the moment as well and just be like, okay, I can get through this. Just kind of, hold my stamina, any stamina that I've built up, just try to hold on to that and try to make sure that I'm pondering over what has happened so that I can understand it, processing it, and then coming up with a solution. The next thing I would say to do if you're navigating a tough year is to know the people to ignore. So they're going to be here, people that are negative, people that are naysayers. They get a lot of space and a lot of time in our minds. And it's really hard to keep going when you focus on what negative people are saying, or maybe you're focusing too much on the success of other people. And it's not that you're not happy for them, but sometimes seeing their success so much, it can either make you envious or it can distract you from what goals that you're trying to succeed. So be able to look at people's success as inspiration, but then also come back to you and love on you for the progress that you've made so far and realize that trouble won't last always. If you're looking for a space to discuss episodes, discover powerful breakthroughs to improve your mindset so you can ace your goals, let's talk about it in the Warrior Rulebook Podcast Insiders Group. Be part of the discussion, share your insights, and contribute to the mastermind. It only works if you participate, so don't just be a silent listener. Leaving a comment on an episode in the group is a great first step to get things going. You can also chime in on live discussions, get access to my social media strategy, and more. So be on the lookout for bonuses. I hope that you feel empowered to share your input and make this an incredible experience for you listening and watching. I want to spend time with you. So join now at facebook.com/groups/the Warrior Rulebook Podcast. Again, that's facebook.com/groups/the Warrior Rulebook Podcast. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. And my third thing I would say is to make a plan to get mended. And I say it this way because we don't really think about what are we going to do to mend ourselves after we fall apart or we have a mental breakdown. What can we do to restore ourselves, to restore our health? And so, God is at the top of the list, worshiping Him, trying to do the right thing, praying, fasting, all of those good things, and build up stamina. It's actually interesting because I want to say a couple weeks ago, my pastor had talked about being strong when a situation comes that is there to derail you, and you want to build up stamina while things are great, while it's calm, nothing's happening, but you're already acting as if something bad is happening. And I just thought that that was so powerful because I'm just like, wow, that's great. Like, I mean, in certain instances, I have been able to do that, but just hearing him talk about that, I was just like, that makes so much sense because you have time to really store. It's like storing fat for the winter, like how a bear does that, storing their fat and things just so when it comes, they're used to it and they're able to now use that energy to live, to breathe. So basically, building up your protection. And I just thought that that was so beautiful. Also, practicing self care. That's important to me as well. I just got a white robe that I can't wait to use, and I want to use another robe. And I just think that just taking care of yourself, making sure that you eat and you're not eating like things that will mess up your system, you're just being nice and relaxed and settling down with a cup of tea, reading a book, whatever it is that allows you to practice self care, that has to be so important going into the next year. You want to make sure that you have a way to decompress, to let go of the negativity that is clinging to your mind, clinging to your heart, clinging to your skin, it can feel like. So look for ways that work for you that de stress. And those are just some of the things I like to do. I like to make sure my hair is clean, make sure I'm clean, washing my face, nice facial scrubs, just giving yourself an experience. You don't want to wait until you go to a classy hotel or you're traveling to give yourself this. Give yourself the spa treatment at home. And so those are a few things that I do to navigate a tough year. And just know that good things are coming. Pray for those good times and just be prepared for when the bad times happen. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Warrior Rulebook podcast. If you like what you heard, share it with a friend and join me over at the Warrior Rulebook Podcast Insider group on Facebook. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more tips on how to be resilient in this world.